There's no fee involved. All we ask is for the participating city to display the POW-MIA flag and ask its citizens to remember and to show their appreciation for the sacrifices made by our former prisoners of war, our missing in action, and their families. Today, it is with great pride that we proclaim the great city of Fenton, Missouri as the first POW-MIA city. And before we present the proclamation, I would like to ask Pat Mormon to come up here, please, and Mr. Paul Clever. Paul, where are you? See, I lied, Pat. I lied. Before we present the proclamation, Paul, would you move here, please? I'm going to give this to you, and if you would hand it to Pat, and then when I give you the high sign. As you can see, we have this all well planned out. But before we present the proclamation to Mike and the City of Fenton, the museum would like to present a representation of the POW-MIA flag. And up here to present Mike that presentation, it will kind of as a remembrance of this day. We have Mr. Paul Clever. Paul's dad went missing in action on February 5th, 1969 over Laos. And Mrs. Pat Mormon is the widow of Walter Mormon. Walter served with the 4th Infantry Division, Purple Heart recipient, and he was captured at the Battle of the Bulge and was a prisoner of war in Stalags 11A and Stalag 13. And representing the families of our POWs and our MIAs, we would like for Pat, will you please present this to Mike in appreciation from the museum? Hand off, and then present it to Mike.
Face forward, Pat. Wait, go ahead.
Paul? Oh.
Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Well done.
Thank you, guys. Really nice. And the proclamation, Mike, reads as such. Jefferson Barracks POW-MIA Museum, proclamation, POW-MIA City Recognition. Whereas the City of Fenton in the state of Missouri remains resolute that no American serviceman or servicewoman which can be recovered shall be knowingly left behind on or near the field of battle, and whereas the people of Fenton hold with the highest regards the sacrifices made by all American prisoners of war who have surrendered their freedom and endured great hardships in the defense of American liberties and values, and whereas on this date of this proclamation, the number of American missing in action from all U.S. wars stands at 82,644. And whereas the residents of Fenton continue to hold dear the sacrifice of all American servicemen and women who have given their lives in defense of the nation, with specific attention by this proclamation to those whose whereabouts remain unknown. And whereas the City of Fenton recognizes the POW-MIA flag designed by Newt Heisley in 1972 as a symbol of our nation's concern and commitment to resolving as fully as possible the fates of Americans still prisoner, missing, and unaccounted for from all U.S. wars, thus ending the uncertainty for their families and the nation. And whereas the City of Fenton, personal homes and businesses are encouraged to display the POW-MIA flag when practical and appropriate. And whereas the families of Fenton, with somber appreciation, extend their gratitude to all POW-MIA family members who continue to carry the burden of their personal loss and offer encouragements that their missing loved ones will be made known again. Now, therefore, I, Paul Dillon, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Jefferson Barracks POW-MIA Museum, do hereby proclaim the City of Fenton, Missouri as the first POW-MIA city, in recognition of the City of Fenton's steadfast efforts in support of POW-MIA awareness, compassion to the families of POWs and MIAs, and its resolution to keep the faith until they have all come home. In witness whereof I have hereunto affixed my name to this proclamation, authorizing this proclamation and all entitlements described therein to the City of Fenton. And it is signed by Paul Dillon, President, and Art Sherman, Vice President. Congratulations, Mike.
First of all, I'd like to recognize two aldermen that came down from Fenton. Today was a little difficult for them to get here because it was sign-up day to run for April election. Josh Foyles, I want to stand up, and Andrew Sobey. I also did prepare some comments, but this morning I had a unique experience, an emotional experience, something I didn't expect. I had breakfast, with Russ. Hi, Russ. Paul Cleaver in the back, and I would tell you that there's nothing more emotional to talk to someone who's been in the battle and someone who's went out beyond reason to recover his father's remains. When talking with Paul, there were certain things that I felt in my heart that had to be said here today. So forget my little speech. This is all just naturally coming out. But what is the probability that a young man who lost his dad in Vietnam, whose mother never remarried, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, and raises such an astute, well-mannered man with the love in his heart for his father, to bring his father back home to be buried here, so his mother, he could lay to rest with his mother, correct? That to me is a mission. It's a mission that's not ending. We see Paul here today, still working on MIA, POW-MIAs. It was kind of sad because this morning he's telling me a story and I'm thinking of Chuck Norris going into Vietnam pulling people out, right? I've been a little naive in my life. I was in Marine Corps boot camp, but they shut down our boot camp because there was too many people coming back from Vietnam. But we were taught in the Marine Corps, no one gets left behind. It's sad to think. World War II, Vietnam, probably Korea, we left people behind. I think if you're like me, I believed in our country. I still believe in the motto. I believe more in what Paul is doing now than ever before in my life. I think that we have to pay attention to what's going on. We have to be the support that this doesn't happen anywhere, and we avoid it to the utmost. So those people who fought, those people who gave their lives, those people who continue to suffer after the war, gave us our freedoms we have today. How could we live? Would we know how to live without these freedoms? This group has given respect back to those people that have been left, that are missing in action. And there's people like Paul that somehow get the grace and courage to stand up, to make everyone aware that this is real. Not what our politicians necessarily tell us. It's real, and it's our soldiers that are telling us this. It's Paul's experience that it's true. So, Fenton receiving this plaque today is a great honor. For the guys here that work for our own museum right here in Jefferson Barracks, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone. Russ, all you guys. And again, I know a lot of you here are in support. I hope you're in agreement with what I said because this is really a great mission to be part of. Thank you. Thank you from the City of Fenton.
Ladies and gentlemen, traditionally, it is the bugler that leads our men and women into battle. And in the end, when the Almighty calls, it is the bugler that leads them home. As is our custom to honor those who cannot be with us, we will close this ceremony with the playing of taps. So if you would like to please stand, please. Assembly, Ken Hutt, present arms.